Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take a stack of your sources, pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge, and serve them up. We're the Morss Global Finance podcast team. I'm John.
I'm Tiffany.
And Tiffany is our precious metals expert. Today, we're diving into Anthem Gold Group.
They're making waves in the precious metals investing world.
They are, and
Yeah.
the reason they're on our radar is they're doing something that we like, and that is that they're focusing on educating their clients.
Yeah, that's right. They're not just saying, hey, buy gold.
Yep.
It's more about giving investors the knowledge they need to make informed decisions.
So what does that look like in practice? How are they doing that?
Well, they actually take the time to break down things like market trends and economic factors.
Okay.
For instance, they analyze gold's performance during past crises.
Okay.
So like the 2008 recession, they use those examples to show how gold can be a safe haven asset.
So they're giving you that historical context,
Exactly.
which is something that I really like. So beyond kind of like historical trends, what other educational resources are they providing?
They also cover broader topics.
Okay.
Things like the potential for a new digital money system,
Okay.
the declining number of banks in the U.S. They really encourage investors to think about the future of finance and where precious metals fit into all of that.
So they're kind of trying to help people really think long term and where precious metals can fit into that strategy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well that's great. I mean, it sounds like they're really trying to kind of position themselves as thought leaders, not just salespeople.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it builds trust and credibility, which is really crucial in an industry that can sometimes feel, a little bit murky.
Right. And it's important to have that trust. So let's get into the nuts and bolts now. What kind of products do they actually offer?
Well, they offer a really wide range of gold, silver, and platinum products.
Okay.
I think what really stood out to me is the diversity. They have everything from like classic American eagles to coins from around the world,
Okay.
like Canadian maple leafs, Australian kangaroos. They really span the globe with their offerings. And then when you look at silver, they have the popular options like the American eagle,
Yeah.
but then they also have some unique choices
Okay.
like the Morgan silver dollar, and they even have some older coins like silver half dollars.
So they're appealing to different types of investors.
Absolutely.
Maybe some collectors as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, maybe you're just starting out and you want to dip your toes in with a smaller investment, or maybe you're ready to, dive in headfirst and go for a larger quantity. They even have kilobars
Oh, wow.
for those who really want to, go all in on precious metals.
So for our listeners who might be interested in gold IRAs, what does Anthem Gold Group's process look like?
It's actually pretty straightforward. They break it down into 3 easy steps.
Okay.
The first step is setting up your precious metals IRA. Now, this involves choosing a custodian,
Yeah.
which, can be a little confusing. But Anthem Gold Group, they actually guide you through the entire process.
Okay.
And they help you select a custodian that's right for your needs. Then you purchase your chosen metals. And finally, they help you arrange for secure storage. So they really hold your hand every step of the way.
Which is good because IRAs can be complicated for people, especially if it's their first time setting one up. So they break down the process, they handhold you through it, and are they transparent about what it costs?
Yeah, absolutely. They have a setup fee of $50, a $30 wire transfer fee. There's a $125 annual maintenance fee, and then a $100 annual storage fee.
Okay, so that's all spelled out pretty clearly for people.
Yeah, they try to be very upfront about that.
Now, what about those perks, though,
Oh, yeah.
that they offer in their investor guide? We're talking about up to $25,000 in free gold or silver. They have a lowest price guarantee. They even have free rollovers with up to 10 years of storage and insurance covered. Is that all on the level? What's the catch?
Well, it definitely makes them competitive, but it does raise some questions
Okay.
about, long-term profitability. Can they sustain these offers?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's an interesting strategy, but how do you make money?
Right.
So we'll have to look into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I mean, the benefits are enticing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they also have a simple buyback program with no hidden fees, quick delivery times, usually 1 to 3 days. They even have a 24-hour guarantee.
So you can change your mind.
Yeah. If you have any second thoughts, you have that kind of like safety net.
Okay. So they've thought of everything to make the experience kind of seamless. Now, when it comes to storage options, and this is obviously a key aspect of precious metal investing, Do they offer some flexibility? What does that look like?
Yeah, they do. They actually work with reputable depositories like the Delaware Depository. And they give you the choice between commingled storage or segregated storage.
Okay.
So with commingled storage, your metals are stored with other people's metals.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more cost effective.
Mm-hmm.
And then segregated storage means your holdings are kept separate.
Okay.
Which offers a bit more, peace of mind. But of course, that comes at a higher cost.
Yeah, of course, you got to pay for that extra level of security and peace of mind. So it sounds like they do have a very client-focused, customer-centric approach to this.
Absolutely.
But are they the only game in town? Are there other reputable companies out there that are worth looking at?
Yeah, for sure. The materials we have mentioned a few alternatives like Goldco,
Okay.
Augusta Precious Metals,
Mm-hmm.
American Hartford Gold. They're all pretty well established in the industry.
So it's always good to shop around, do your research.
Exactly. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right. Diversify, right? So before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I think it's important to see what people are actually saying about Anthem Gold Group. Do their actions match their words?
Right.
So let's get into the customer feedback. What are people saying about their experience?
Okay, let's dive into that. Well, it looks like they're walking the walk. Their customer feedback is really positive.
Oh, that's good.
They have great ratings on sites like the Better Business Bureau, Trustpilot, Yelp, Google My Business. Across the board, people seem to be happy.
Okay, so high ratings, that's one thing, but what are people actually saying? Like, are there any specific comments that stand out?
Yeah, definitely. There are a few testimonials that caught my eye. Curel Z, for example.
Okay.
He praised their friendly service, their competitive pricing. He really felt valued as a client. And then there's Anthony S.
Okay.
He talked about feeling really secure and well-informed throughout his entire gold buying experience. He really appreciated the team's clarity and honesty.
So it sounds like they're really focused on building relationships, not just transactions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is important.
It is. And, it's not just about buying and selling either.
Okay.
Sebastian G. specifically mentioned how impressed he was with Danny's guidance during his gold and silver IRA setup.
Okay.
He felt like Danny was patient and professional, which really put him at ease.
That's good because setting up an IRA can be a little intimidating for some people.
For sure.
So it sounds like they're going the extra mile to provide that personalized support.
Yeah. I mean, these stories really highlight the human side of Anthem Gold Group. They're dedicated to client empowerment, personalized service. However, no company is perfect.
Right.
We did find a couple of potential drawbacks that we should mention.
Okay, so what are some areas where maybe Anthem Gold Group could improve?
One thing is, while their website is very informative, it might not provide like the super detailed information that some investors are looking for.
Okay.
So if you're someone who wants to, really get into the weeds, you might need to reach out to them directly to get more comprehensive information.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to talk to a human.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's one. What's the other one?
Another thing to consider is that they're relatively new to the industry.
Okay.
They were founded in 2023.
Okay.
So they don't have that like decades-long track record that some of their competitors have.
Right. So less of a track record.
Mm-hmm.
But they've made a pretty big splash in a short amount of time.
Yeah, definitely.
And their focus on that client education and transparency, that could be seen as a way to build trust, offset that shorter track record.
Exactly. So it really comes down to, weighing those pros and cons, deciding what's most important to you as an investor. Do you want a company with a longer history? Or are you more attracted to Anthem Gold Group's, fresh perspective and client-centric approach?
Right. Every investor's different.
Yeah.
They have different needs. So we've talked about a lot. We talked about their educational approach, their products, the Gold IRA process, customer feedback, some potential drawbacks.
Mm-hmm.
What for you stands out as their most compelling selling point?
I think for me, it's their dedication to education.
Yeah.
It really sets them apart
I'm
from
not-
those companies that are just trying to sell you something.
Mm-hmm.
They're really empowering investors to understand, why precious metals,
Right.
not just what they are.
It's the why not the what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, that's reflected in their willingness to address, potentially sensitive topics like
Right.
the decline of traditional banks and the rise of these alternative financial systems.
Yeah, they're not shying away from that stuff.
No, they're not.
They're bringing it up,
Yeah, they're encouraging people to think about the bigger picture.
which I think is great.
Yeah.
And that seems to be resonating with people based on the positive feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, of course, as with any investment decision,
Right.
you got to do your due diligence.
Absolutely.
Weigh the pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
Anthem Gold Group might not be the right fit for everyone,
Yeah, that's a good point.
especially those who, want a company with a longer track record,
Right.
or maybe they need a ton of detailed information up front.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But for those who are looking for a company that prioritizes education,
Yeah.
transparency, and personalized service,
For sure.
Anthem Gold Group seems like a really strong contender.
Absolutely.
And, they've got those generous perks,
Yeah,
and that client-focused approach is very attractive.
it is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Anthem Gold Group,
Mm-hmm.
what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
I think the most important question to ask yourself is, in a world of increasing financial complexity and uncertainty, does exploring precious metals with a partner like Anthem Gold Group make sense for my financial goals?
Right. It's not about, jumping on the bandwagon. It's about making informed decisions
Absolutely.
that align with your own personal needs and risk tolerance.
Yeah.
We've provided you with the information, the insights. Now it's up to you, the listener, to decide if Anthem Gold Group is the right fit for your financial future.
And remember, knowledge is power.
Yes, it is.
The more you understand about the financial landscape, the better equipped you'll be to navigate it successfully.
Well said. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Anthem Gold Group.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and as always, happy investing